Well, Ren, I thought you'd be happy that I made you a brand new course today, filled with opportunities. Okay, have you cantered yet? And how does she feel?
Okay.
Sticky to the right or not?
No.
Okay.
Fine, both ways.
Okay. So start on the circle here in the middle, and you're just going to show me a couple canter trot transitions. I'm very happy to see you with the stick starting out. So think of centering your circle and making it large without letting it touch the walls. There's good. So keep it like that on the other side. Paddock boots today. Are those new? Paddock boots? Okay. Oh. Yeah, I was wondering. Okay, canter when you're ready. Okay, now keep your hands up in line with her mouth and forward to trot, and we'll try that again. Really keep awareness of keeping your hands up above her shoulders when you ask for the canter, right? You don't want to drag her down. You need her to be around your right leg. When her head comes up, your hands are going to have to come up a little bit to match that. Emma, could you please pass me my jacket? It's just hanging up on the cross ties. Just on the cross ties there, my brown jacket, I think. Good, and back to trot, Ren. Let's see if you can repeat that transition. That was way better. Thank you.
Is the lead better?
No, she's pretty even.
She just travels a little bit to the left.
Yeah, yeah, thanks. Good, Ren. Okay, trot transition. And then change direction through your circle. So you're going to do a little yin-yang sign and come on to the left. So how would you describe what happened there across the middle of your turn? Sorry? When you were changing direction there through the circle and she kind of almost stopped, what do you think happened there? Okay. So just sit twice here, address your posting diagonal. Make your circle nice and big. And then we're going to do 2 more changes of direction. So think about keeping your hands up and keeping your legs riding her through the change of bend, right? You won't need to touch her mouth much at all if she's in balance around your leg. Turning, 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 looking where you want to go. Good, rising. Press her belly out. And then again, on that big circle, find a spot to do your change of direction. Keeping your hands up. Good, so that one was better, right? That time the error that was made was that she sped up across the middle instead of slowing down. You were better keeping your hands up and negotiating that. Okay, let's go ahead and canter when you're ready. Good, now she almost got ahead of you there.
Yeah.
Let's try that again. And again, really conscious of where your hands are, right? That we don't want to break the line down. What that's going to do as well is pull down on the sensitive bars of her mouth and make the bit rise up into the roof of her mouth, which she's going to resent. Right? So if you can keep your hands in a straighter line to the bit ring, there, perfect, there. Good. What about your outside aids, right? She's really bulging out there. If you can keep your hands in a straighter line to the bit, then she's going to feel it in the corner of her mouth, not so much down on the bars. Good. Trot transition. Okay, so again, thinking about position there, I want to see you sitting into that first trot step. Preparation to canter again. And then in your next trot transition, you're making sure that you're in the saddle when she trots, and then you match your posting to her. Now, if she snarks at you like that again, I would give her a little tap with your whip. And it doesn't need to be a big one, but you need to say, hey, I am more important than your little opinion right now, chestnut mare. Ready? Good. And trot transition. Really work the outside rein here, Ren. Keep her on the circle, right? Imagine you've got a round railroad track, right? Do you ever have a train set? You need to have a round track here that you're keeping her on. Now take your time and slow this down a bit. Make sure you're matching with her outside shoulder, right, for best balance. Good, good. And now gently but firmly close your aids and canter. Good, good girl. Now go straight as a reward. Go large. Good. And then you're going to canter all the way down through that end and come back up to the middle and make your circle in the middle again. Hands up in line with her mouth. There, there, lovely. Keep that line. Perfect. Make sure when you turn, you keep the hands up. Yes, Ren, good for you. Looking. Outside aids, turning aids. Really good, Ren. Okay, and trot transition. Keep her on the circle. So when you lose her to the outside, I want you to think about bringing your right leg and rein together. Okay, so that you're almost like you're going to back her up on your right hand as your right leg addresses her shoulder. So half halter together, right leg, right rein. There. Good. Where are her hips going? Good, good. And then go straight down the long side. Drop your stirrups. We've got to fix this posting diagonal problem. Drop your stirrups. So you're going to be on the no stirrup program. And you're still on the wrong posting diagonal. There we go. Good. Circle where you are and take your stirrups back. Good. And canter. Good. Okay, praise her there. Hands up in line with her mouth. Outside hand is good. Make sure the inside hand is staying up above the shoulder. There, Ren. Good job. Good job. And trot transition. Good. Let's have you trot through the middle and trot over this cross rail here. Patiently to the bottom, keeping your leg on. Right, leg support. Good. Now she jumped that quite well. We'd love it if she still took one more trot step before she left the ground. Think about keeping your hips low so your posting is very small before the jump. Uh-oh. She talked you into leaving from farther away that time. So think about your half halts on the way here, Ren. You need to be just saying to her, just wait, just wait, just wait. Your hips are bent, you're ready if she does leave the ground, but you're reminding her not to leave the ground yet. There we go, good. Now, can you feel when she lands, is she landing to the left or the right? What's that? She's landing to the outside, okay? So she's landing and going to the right. So again, that's a problem of the outside aids. Outside rein and leg. Good, so much better with your straightness, Ren. And that was excellent in that even though she wanted to leave the ground, you had her wait. You kept a feel And then you actually had quite a direct opening rein, helping to keep her straight. That's an excellent correction. Steady. No, she talked you into it. She's in a bit of a mood today. Could see that in the cross ties even. So I want you to post a little slower and think about your half halt being weight, 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 even in both reins, to the bottom of the jump. Half halt, half halt. Yes, good for you. And there's your best jump, Ren. And then she's so much straighter on landing as well. Okay, walk and give her a pat there. Good. Okay, good warm up. So going back to the clinic, the coaching symposium that I went to that had David O'Connor as the main speaker, one of the things he talked about was warming up our students to have what he calls a foundation jump. And of course I love that because my business is foundation equestrian. But what he means by a foundation jump is a single fence where you're checking in that the student has the ability to do the same jump again and again the same way, right? So that, you know, if I said, okay, Ren, you know, go jump this cross rail off the right 10 times, you should be able to pretty much have the same canter, the same track, reasonably the same distance. And he's saying that, you know, before we go tell our students to do something difficult, we need to make sure they can do something simple. So that's the idea of the foundation jump, is that you're testing whether the student can replicate an exercise, okay? And one of his favorite warm-up exercises is this, with the placing pole and the landing pole with a jump in the middle, okay? So this is going to be our foundation jump that we're going to start on. Now it's important that we have a decent canter and that you know where you are in relation to this pole, because this is your setup, right? The jump falls into place. As long as you get this pole done, the jump is right there. So she's going to bounce, jump the jump, and bounce out over the second pole. Now, as we know, it can be difficult to find the perfect distance to a pole on the ground. It's a little bit harder for us visually than finding a good distance to a jump where it's up in our eyesight, right? The thing I want you to think about to set yourself up here for success, the two big things are rhythm and track, right? So if you come down, if you're cantering down this wall and your canter is staying the same, the same, the same, through the turn it's the same, as you get straight it's the same, you have a much better chance of finding a good distance there. And then you also have the ability out of that rhythm to ask her to go a little bit forward or a little bit back, right? Now she's been getting much smarter and more educated. I don't mean smarter, she's been getting more educated, understanding her job about the poles, where when she used to get here and just step on the poles, now she's been trying to fit those strides in. So she's got the idea that she needs to keep her back feet on one side and her front feet on the other side, but she didn't used to have that idea at all. Okay, so that's really encouraging. So because this is more complicated than that, I want you to come, we're going to use this actually as our foundation jump first. You're going to canter, do a roll back through the middle, and jump the simple cross rail. And I can already give you a little heads up that most likely she's going to want to bulge to the right, right? Because you felt that on your canter circle. Okay? So on the left lead, nice canter rhythm, nice round half circle, meeting your straight track. Be ready to keep her to the left, just like you did in the trot. Don't let her convince you to leave the ground early.
And this is in canter, right?
This is in canter. So as long as we can do this on a good rhythm, on a good track, then we're going to make it the one in the middle, okay? But let's do this one first. And then again, these are the exercises we need to kind of tick off before the jumps go up, right? So not to pressurize you, but just this is, you're sort of doing business, right? You're setting things up so that you can do the bigger stuff. Okay, I love this canter, Ren. So that's a great starting point. So this is the beat you're on, right? You saw Miles work with me on that? Her hind feet hitting the ground now, 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 now. Now how come we left the last one out there? The decision to leave the ground where you wanted to leave the ground was not following the rhythm of the canter you were in there, Ren. So count your rhythm in order to wait for your jump. Now, 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 now. Good. And much better, and just slightly to the right. So circle there, get the canter a little quieter again. Make sure, Ren, that you're using all your space up here to give yourself time to set up for straightness. Simple change, take your time. Good. Whoops. Good, Ren. Now think about your hands in line with her mouth. Now check in with your rhythm. I don't think we need too many more circles down there. Right? We were circling in order to make sure you liked your canter rhythm. Now use your space. Look at your fence, outside aids. Good, and come again. So Ren, you're turning quite early here, right? You should be past the door before you turn. Look at your jump. There. Straightness. Good, good. Landed super straight there. Excellent. Okay, trot transition. I would canter and do that again because she kind of fell into the trot, right? Push her ribs out. Good. Now trot when you are ready. Much better, Ren. Let's give her a short walk break so she feels like she's being appreciated, and we can see that she's in a little bit of a frustrated mood today. And sometimes the best recipe for that is a short walk break, and it gives the horses a chance to just be like, oh, all right, my life is not as bad as I thought. So Ren, with our next jump being on the center line, not the quarter line, the turn is that much harder. Right? So if you turn before the door like you were doing for that jump, it's really going to get difficult for the next one. Right? So you've got all this space. You can be right out here close to this cone. Right? You've got all this room. And I would say it's probably best to use it because then you've got time to straighten and to make sure you maintain straightness. So when you're riding here, you're looking to the pole and counting rhythm to the pole. And then as soon as you get there, you look up, you pick your landing track, and you ride straight away. Okay? All right, so let's do that off the left. Straighter in her neck. Now she's pooping. Keep the leg. Look to your pole. 1, 2, 1, 2. Good. Inside hand up. That's right. Good. Coming again. Good for you. Yeah, you got the canter rebalance. Look. Quiet. Whoa. Okay, so take a circle there, get that organized. Okay, and trot a sec, Ren. So here, when she's a little far away, you need to be, in a position to allow her to stretch over the pole. So you were good there with your release and keeping your hips bent. What we don't want to do is speed her up, right? Like if from back there you knew, oh, I've got to move up a little bit to get closer to the pole, then that's great. But in the last moment, if you're here, you don't want to then go, and go over the jump, because then you're creating more momentum than you need, right? And imagine if that last one was a jump so that you really are bouncing out, right? Then you're creating way too much speed for her to know what to do with in the bounce. So I thought your canter was good. It's just that with the long distance, you kind of put your foot on the gas pedal when you just needed to close your leg and keep it there. Okay, so let's come do that again. On one note, when you went twice, you landed a little bit fast, and I was like, oh, maybe he needs to circle. And then I was happy you didn't, because you reorganized her quickly and were able to keep coming, which is ideal, right? The circles are sometimes needed, but they're always your second choice, because of course in a show ring setting, you can't do them without being penalized. Okay, Ren, so do that again off the left, set your best canter. You did well with your track. Now make sure on the straight line, you're counting rhythm to the pole and not letting her get quick. Perfect, Ren. Good job. Really good job. Okay, and walk transition. Lovely, lovely ride to the pole. If I'm to be a little picky, it's here that you just pushed with your body a little bit. You just need to maintain, okay? But that was well done. Okay, let's come off the right now. We'll come from A, and then you're landing and turning right after. Keep working on lengthening his neck there, Chase. Push her hips in a little bit. Oh. Yeah, outside leg back. Keep the hip in on the track. Good, Ren. Good, good quiet body. Get those hind legs sorted out. Outside half halt. Make sure you like your canter. Good decision, good. You okay? Quiet, good, good. I like how still your body is so far this way. Now outside rein is your break, good. Quiet your canter now as you look for your jump. Quiet your canter. Ooh. Good. Good, okay. Get your lead and then walk, and we're gonna do this one more time, and I'm gonna put a pole there. Get your canter lead. Good. Now trot and walk. And I'm going to put a pole here so that if she is disunited, you've got an opportunity to ask for it over the pole. Okay? So that as she comes around the turn here, you've just made sure that your left leg is closed, a little bit of an opening right rein. It's like you're asking her to pick up her right lead canter over the pole. And that should just help her sort out her hind legs. Okay, so let's do that one more time off the right. Now you've got that pole to canter over, and there's a chance she might spook at it, right? Because it just appeared out of nowhere. Make sure that you're ready there. Lovely. Good. Now look up, hands up. 1, 2, outside leg. Good. Oh, cheeky monkey. Simple change. Not so rough. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Good. Super there, Ren. So beautiful when you're tactful about it. Wait. Good. Good. Okay, now get your lead sorted out, and we're going to talk about what's happened the last 2 times. Good. Okay, and trot. So the second to last time, she saw the pole, fixed her lead 2 strides away, and I thought, oh, look at that. The pole's worked before she's even gotten there. And then she got to the pole and went to the wrong lead over the pole, right? And then that's pretty much what happened the second time as well, was you were sorting it out. Or no, she landed on the right lead, didn't she, the last time?
I don't think so.
There was one time where she landed on, I think, yeah, the last time she landed on the right lead. And I was like, lovely, 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 lovely. And then she got here and went to the wrong lead over the pole. Okay? So at least we're getting a lead change over the pole. It's just not quite the one we wanted. Okay, we're not going to kill ourselves on that today. We need to get you jumping or you're going to get so crabby, I've been told. All right. Loved your patience in the canter the last 2 times. So now you're going to come off the right. You're going to do the same canter line, and then we're going to bend the track and go to this cross rail. Okay, and then let's halt on a straight line. That's going to be a little bit tricky, right? Land, recover, even reins. Do not let her push through your left leg.
The wall.
Use the wall as the demand. Did we talk about ask, tell, demand last time with the wall? Yeah. Then you can trot a circle. Then you're going to trot in over this one.
That one.
The gate. Yeah, the gate. And then you're going to do the long bending line to the other gate.
In canter?
In canter.
Okay.
So you're trotting over so she has a chance to see it. Landing, and then keep cantering here. So there's not a ton of bend in that line. Right, you almost need to be going straight, but with your eyes to the left, and then showing her the turn when you can line up. Right, just make sure that she's not fixated here. Have a little bit of left bend, get her looking at her next jump. Lovely. Wait. Halting. Oh, what a good girl. Really good girl. She's getting trained. Because it's hard for her little brain. Good, Ren. Lead change. Outside rein. Good for you. Here you go, honey. That can go in Ray's locker. Good, Ren. And considering those were new fences, she was really good about that. Now, I was a little worried because you had a little extra speed behind you there than we wanted. And then, but you didn't kick for the long one, you waited, she squished it in, and then I thought, oh, the halt's gonna be really hard because she's going fast, and she was like, really good there. Super. Okay. So now we're gonna canter into this line off the right and go straight, landing off the pole. It's either 7 or 6 strides in here, depending on your canter. I would say probably we would like to do 7, especially considering that jump is quite small. So why don't you plan to land and count and plan on 7. Then you're gonna come right turn, through the turn, jump your cross rail, and then I want you to halt in a straight line as soon as you can. Okay, so you shouldn't end up at the wall, hopefully. Okay, we're gonna start with that. We're piecing a course together here, but we wanna make it so that no part of it is exciting, right? Okay, right canter to start, straight, right turn, cross rail, halt. That turn is gonna come up pretty quickly. Good, Ren. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look for your turn. Hands up. Wait. Yeah, good for you. Left leg. And gently back her up. Never in a hurry, right? Her brain needs time to catch up with what you've just done. So that you would stop, then you would back up, and then you would stop again, okay? Because if it's quick, 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 and then you're out of it, she's like, I don't even know what just happened. Okay, so let's turn right. We'll do that last one again with the halt. Because we went forward and got 6 strides here, it made her a little faster to turn, a little hard to get organized at the jump, and then that makes her hard to stop, okay? So we're gonna do the last jump again, work on the halt, and then we'll put it back together again. Good, hands up in line with her mouth. I sound like a broken record, fix it. Hands up. There, Ren, up, not back. Oh, good for you. Good, gently back up. And halt. Good, gently back up a couple more steps. There, and halt. Good, okay, and walk on. You've got inner thighs of steel, right? I can see that into the halt. It's like, which is a really good thing. We need that ability. Now we would need to work a little bit on your technique coming in, right? Because this isn't working for you. She's getting really mad and she's fighting through your hand, right? You need to, if she's up here, you need to be up here as well, right? So there's no fight. Okay, come around, catch that again. Hands. Yes, Ren. Oh. Straight, straight. Gently back up. Good. Stand absolutely still. And now you're going to look to the right and turn her right off your left leg. Good. And let's go do that again. 1,000 times better to your jump. That was absolutely perfect to your jump. And then through repetition, we need to get her a little more engaged and tuned into the halt. So we're going to do that again. Hands up. Quiet as you can. Perfect. Oh, I thought you were going to wait. Okay, back up again. So if you were going to there, you just need to be clearer about it, right? Because it obviously wasn't clear enough. It didn't get the job done. Turn right again off your left leg. Good, and we'll do that again. Your canter was great. I thought, oh, perfect. He's got 2 beautiful strides left. And then suddenly there was only 1. So just every step you need the half halt, fit that stride in. Fit that half halt in before your fence. Right? So your timing would be now, 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 now. Keep at it. There we go. And what a lovely jump she gave you. Wonderful, Ren. And walk forward on a loose rein and give her a pat. What a beautiful jump you just got out of her. And that's because you were better in how you rode to the fence. Right? This is where it always comes back to us. The rider. Good, awesome. So remember, we're doing the 7 strides up the first line, so you need to wait early in that line so you feel like you've got time for 7 strides. Good canter. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good for you. Look at your next fence. Half halt. Wait, 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 wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoops. Okay, it's not bad, Ren. All that happened there was as soon you jumped that fence fantastic, and then as soon as you went to make your turn, she got away from you a little bit. Okay? So she ended up doing 5 instead of the 6 that we had talked about. And then because she's a little flat and a little long, she ends up catching the rail. So just in the same way that you managed this line to get the 7, you now need to manage this line to get the 6. Right? The 6 is to that pole. Okay, so let's do this part again. Waiting it? Yeah, she's still developing those skills. Good. Remember with her, if you lift your inside rein, it helps her a little bit into her transition. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that time, Ren, to me, it looked like you sped her up. And I don't know if you're aware of that, but she landed really quiet, and then I saw your heels go in, and that's the opposite of what we want, right? We want her to stay quiet and waiting, so you don't need to add any, you don't need to put the gas pedal down, you need to keep her steadier than that. Okay, let's try it again. You jumped it perfectly, that was just right, and then wait, 2, 3, keep waiting, 4, 5, 6. Take your time. It's only going to get worse if you rush. You're going to lift your inside rein. Make sure she's looking to the right. Good. Kick her off your right leg. That's how she's lost a couple people. Just like that. It's okay. Just reset. So I want to see your right hand above your left hand when you ask for the canter on her, Ren. Right. Look ahead. Wait, wait, wait. Wait, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good for you. Good effort. Awesome. I thought you might abandon your plan there and think, oh, the 5 is right there, but you worked at it, right? And she improved here. She got better, made a better effort there, right? It was still not an ideal distance, so she still struggled to keep her technique, her form over the jump. Good, we're gonna come do that again. So again, you want to try to shorten these steps even more so that she ends up being able to step over the pole nicely, right? If she gets too close to the pole, then by the time she steps over, she's just too close to her jump. Okay, so that was like 50% better than the time before. So now we work on making another improvement. Good with your hands. Good, Ren. Keep that line. That's perfect. Look ahead. Be strong inside leg past where she was spooky. Good. Wait. Wait. Again. Wait, wait, wait. Good. Okay, so she made a different mistake that time, right? She took it down with her front legs instead of her hind legs that time. So she's trying, she's adjusting her technique, trying to figure it out. Still, your 6 strides are too big, right? We need 6 more waiting strides. And the other thing you can do, of course, to help you fit in the 6 strides is to go a little bit more out on your track, right? Just to make sure that she's staying around your left leg a little bit longer. Okay, let's do that again. Really good with your hands, Ren. Good improvement there. Be firm here. Right leg, right leg, right leg. Good. Use all your space. Good. Now out and wait. 3, 4, 5, whoops. So that's again the lack of commitment to your last half halts, right? Like she has to do 6 before this pole. So when you get here on 5, you need to not go, I guess it's 5, you need to go 6. Yeah. 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 Okay. So that's a good thought and a good strategy, but you need to be counting your rhythm, right? I wasn't counting it out loud, so I guess you weren't counting it in your head. See, that's where I need to stop helping so much, because then you're not getting trained to do it yourself. Okay? So let's come again. So you need to land, I mean, my goodness, you need to be counting your strides between your fences all the time, right? It shouldn't be just because we're having difficulty with one exercise. So the count that you would have would be 1, 2, 3, 4, right? That's the beat when the front legs are hitting the ground. 1, 2, 1, 2. What a beautiful ride! Ha! So I absolutely love it when students admit to me what they're doing, right? Like, oh, well, actually, I wasn't counting. Brilliant. Brilliant, because then it's like, okay, well, we can fix that. You counted, it worked out perfect, right? Here we've been clobbering ourselves over the head trying to make it work. Well, all you need to do is count. Perfect. If you're going to be a rider, the good thing is you only need to know your 12 times tables. But everything we do jumping is based on math, right? Like it's based on distances between your jumps. What track are you going to take? Are you going to make 6 or are you going to make 7? Are you going to make 5 on the inside? Then you risk knocking this vertical down. Okay, that was absolutely perfect. Okay, I still think we want to do 7 up this line, even though that's gotten a little bit bigger. But again, that means that early in your line, you need to have really compressed the canter, right? So then you're keeping that step to your jump. Then let's jump this jump and come out and then jump back over the gate. And then we're going to go straight up the last line. And I want you to count your strides up that last line and tell me how many you did. You're going to count everywhere except not on your long bending line. Exactly. I won't ask you to do that yet, but Barb or Mark would, so we've got to get you ready before you do a clinic with them. Okay, ready? For the record, I hate math too, but sometimes it's necessary. One, two. Good effort, Ren. Look at your next jump. Stretch up. Wait, wait, wait. Uh-oh. Okay, walk. So the good news is you recognize that you went off course. The bad news is you're eliminated. How many strides did you do up the first line? What's that?
I forgot about it. I was thinking that I was waiting over here.
Oh, okay. So you still need to be counting, right? Even if you make a mistake, you still need to be counting so that you can be helped to make the adjustment, right? It helps you recognize where you are. Look at your next fence. Plan. Half halt. Rhythm. Wait, wait, wait. Now stop, stop, stop. Stop there. You got to give her a little spank with the stick. Little spank with your stick. Okay, now back up. Looking up, back up, back up. Off the left leg, take your right foot off, push her off the left leg. Sideways, sideways, good. And now trot forward over your jump. Grab some mane. Good. So how many strides did you do up your first line? Good. And do you know how many strides you did in this line? Okay. You did 6, and it was on a very snug track, right? So you looked early, you turned early. It was kind of the jump off track, right? When I walked that line to show you where to go, I was kind of out in line here, right? Remember, I was like, don't let her think she's jumping this one. She needs to know she's jumping that one. So that's more the track I want you to be on, a little bit fuller track. Okay, and then we don't know how many strides you would have done because she stopped. And she stopped not because of the jump, right? She stopped because of stuff, ghosts outside or whatever.
And it felt like she wasn't committed all the way there. And
Okay, yeah. And that's too where if you feel that she's backed off, you need to get away from the brakes and press into the gas pedal, right? Because she's going, I don't know, I don't know. Your leg needs to actually fix that, right? Now we did need some half halting, however, on the way here because she ended up taking the really big distance. Okay, let's do that whole pattern again. So again, you're landing and you're coming out on your bending line before you go to your next jump. You can still be looking there, but not turning until you line up straight with it. Weight with leg. Yes, Ren. Good for you. Balance. Much better. Use your space and look at your jump. Reset your canter. Reset your canter. Whoa, whoa, whoa. There we go. Now be firm. Good for you. Okay, now really praise her up and make a fuss over her. That was such a big improvement from the last time. Awesome. Oh, really? Well, you hit it well. I didn't notice. Okay, excellent. Now, how many strides did you do at the last line? Ren, I believe we just talked about that you need to count all the time up your lines, yes? All right, well, I'm not going to tell you then. You're going to do it again and tell me what you get this time. Yes. I'm just going to change a couple things, so just wait a sec. Let's see, should I be a little bit mean to Ren?
Sure.
All right, so I'm going to make this into an oxer, but it's going to be a skinny oxer, which means that you better be straight jumping into it. Or else you're going to get a standard in the choppers, which is not recommended. See how crooked we are here. I'm always having poles land on me in various ways. It's just the hazard of the profession, I guess. Okay, good. Just let her see this once, just so that she doesn't go like, what is that? Right? We don't want it to be terrifying. We want it to be educating, not terrifying. So you have to go through the standards. Okay, please? No. She's just trying to dismantle the jumps. She doesn't have to jump it. So your track was much improved here. It could even be a little bit wider to be very straight there. Oh yes, I was going to put this one up. Okay, get ready to head out there, Ren. I'm just going to put this one to a vertical as well. Look. Stretch up. Good, good effort. Open your inside rein. Good. Now steady your canter. Pull. Good man, well ridden. Okay. Praise her up. You hate those shoes? I bet, okay. There's nothing worse than being crammed into shoes that are too small.
And that was fine.
Yeah, good. The time before it was 6. This time you had a bigger jump in, a little more pace, and she did the 5. Okay. Do you want to end there then? Are your feet done, or do you want to do one more course? Okay, it's up to you. Do you want to do another one or leave it there?
Okay. Another one.
Okay. Oh, I have a question for you. Do you know when you were down there why I said open your inside rein?
Let her put her right hand, her right foot back, right back foot.
Okay, almost. Yeah. So what was happening, I think we've talked about this before, but not for a long time, is she was actually on the correct lead behind and the wrong lead in front. And usually, that's much a less likely scenario than the other way around, right? It's unusual that horses do it that way. And usually, if you just shift your hands in, they rebalance really easily onto the correct front leg.
Yeah.
So because she was correct behind, wrong in front, I was like, open your inside rein. And as soon as you did that, she gave you the half lead change, which made her correct. And then of course, because we had that early enough, you had more time to be in a good canter for that fence. Okay, Ren, I think she's been really good about this line. I think we can leave this line. Let's do the last, let's do the bending line and the last line again. So we're doing the last 4 jumps. Oh. Okay, so you're starting off the right with that vertical, out, 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 and straight. Yeah. Okay, counting your rhythm. Okay, stop. No, no, no. What's our drill? You're going to give her a little spank. Back her up. And trot her over it. Good, and praise her right away and walk. We're going to start with that bending line again. So the idea is that we never let her leave the track that she was pointed at, right? She has to go through the standards of what you point her at, which means you have to be responsible for what you point her at, right? If there's a 6-foot vertical, you're not going to go, oh yeah, let's do that, because you're going to scare her, right? But she needs to think like, okay, whenever I see those standards and I'm pointed, that's where I'm going. Okay, let's come start there again. Now, because the jump's gotten bigger, you just need to really support her there, right? She just got a little concerned that she wasn't going to make it. Good decision, Ren. On the job, on the rhythm. Good. Stretch up. What a good girl, what a good effort. Now rebalance. Steady. What a good girl. Excellent, Ren. Big praise for her. What a good worker. Right? She tried really, really hard. She made good efforts everywhere there. And praise, praise, praise her. She needs to know that she gets instantly rewarded for that. Good girl. Yeah. Now, if we weren't at the end of the lesson and the end of her energy, I would make you do this again because you lost your track. Right? Like it got really tight again. So you almost did 5 strides where every other time you've done 6 because you did such a tight track here. And then that's not super fair to her because then she never got a chance to be really straight and push off straight at this jump. Having said that, you got her here and she was a little bit crooked and she made a great effort and jumped it really well. Okay, so she tried her guts out here for you, which is awesome. And then the next time you would need to help her set her up. Because the thing too with horses, again, I'm generalizing, I would say mares especially. Often mares, they'll try their guts out for you. And then if you put them in that position where they have to try their guts out for you too many times, then they start getting really upset. Right? Which makes sense. Like she's gone, okay, I'm jumping it half sideways and I've got to jump it even bigger than it really is. And then as long as you organize at your next jump and your next jump, she's like, okay, like no problem. I covered that one for you. Right? But if you're then crooked and disorganized there, she's going to be like, really? Right? Good girl. Okay, why don't you jump off, loosen her girth, just make a big fuss over her. She was very good. And then she can just start to cool down without you on her back. Good girlie.
What's that anchor over there, 2.6?
Everything's about 3 feet. Or 2, this is 3 feet.
And that barrel is like 3 feet high.
Yeah.
3 feet?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, not really, but feet.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is 3 feet right here. So that's pretty much what we're jumping.
So that one there, down there is a little over 3 feet. It's like 3 feet that way.
Yeah, could be, yeah. Yeah, so that's good. That's her first, probably her first solid 3-foot course that we've done, except I think maybe we did one outside in the summer.
Yeah.
But it wasn't nearly as technical, right? It was like straight lines, simple fences on the diagonals. Yeah, very good. And this little exercise here, Ren, you rode really well, the pole jump pole. And that's so good for her too, to get the timing of her foot placement for takeoff and landing, right?
Yeah.
And the landing pole, as we talked about, helps her think about her hind end coming over the fence. Good, awesome.
What you want, what you want. Come on. Come on. Come on.